Hey guys, welcome back to the STPL. My name is Kix. I am your caster, host, and organizer for the STPL, and joining me again is Rapid. So, huge thanks to him for coming along.
That's right, and perhaps coming up, the greatest match of the show match. This is going to be not only a really cool map, but also two of my favorite players to watch play, and yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Now, both of these players are very, well, I'd say old school as well, but I've got quite a personal connection to one of them, and I know you've enjoyed watching the other one for a very long time. So let's have a look at the map once again. It's going to be G5 versus Herbmon, or as all the Americans say, like Jealous, he will say Herbmon, because there's no H in Herb apparently, and I know you're probably the same, but either way, let's head on over and let's introduce our fourth and possibly final map, but we may have Game 5 as well, so let's have a look at the overlay and let's see what map we're going to. It's going to be Benzene.
That's right. So Benzene, like you said, is a map that if you were paying attention, you might have seen in the third season of the ASL. It was actually kind of a cool map there. I liked it, but it was not necessarily the most balanced of maps. I think Protoss had a very high win rate on it, so I mean, maybe that was what they were going for with the map pool. But yeah, it hasn't actually been seen professionally, competitively, outside of ASL 3 for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, it was in... I mean, it obviously spawned from the Shinhan Bank Pro League 2010 to 2011 season, and the keen-eyed of you may notice the similarity between Shinhan Bank and Shinhan Tank, but let's keep that a secret from the Korean bank, otherwise they may shut me down. But either way, it's a cool two-player map, top left or top right, even a bottom left spawns. There is really weird ridges behind the natural and the third base, which does mean it's very often that you do see kind of weird drops and things on there. Now there is going to be a third gas at the top left and bottom right, and there's kind of multiple ways you can split the map. Now this is going to be a PvZ. G5, of course, one of Media's better Protoss players from back in the day, and Herbmon, a very, well, not super famous, but very well known current foreign Zerg. Now he does do a lot of casting himself. He did cast the Card Cup with Nina Zerg, and he does stream all of the time. I believe he's actually in the military as like a lawyer or something. No, I think it might be the Navy. So if you've ever seen the film, not the film, the TV series, is it NSI, where they're like all naval...
No, it's JAG. Well, JAG is the old one where they have Navy lawyers. The new one is NCIS.
Oh, NCIS, that's it. Yeah, they're like police officers in the Navy. But either way, I've learned a lot from him. I did play a lot of games with him back on IC Cup. And then I took like a break for a year, because I used to beat him all the time, right? This is one of my go-to stories when I talk about Old Brood War. Well, I say Old Brood War, this was like 2014, 2015, so... In 2015, I was playing a lot. That was like the first time I'd properly played a lot to try and get really good. And I played a ton of practice games with him. And I used to do all these really weird styles against Zerg that I can't make work anymore. And basically, I beat him like 90% of the time. I took a break, came back in 2016, and all of a sudden I couldn't win. And that was it. I don't think I've beaten Herbmon since, but that is the one harsh reality of playing Brood War. Like, if you take a long break and other people don't, they are going to get better than you, and you are going to find it incredibly frustrating trying to catch up with them again. And that's exactly what I had with Herbmon in 2016. But now I know, I just outright know he is better than me as a player. He's put in a lot of effort. I know G5 is a very strong Protoss player as well, so this should be a really cool CVP here as we head on over to our game to start the fourth game of the series between Media and bwL. Media are a 2-1 up, and it's going to be up to Herbmon here to take it to the ace match. And starting us off here in the top right hand position, we do have The purple Protoss fighting for media. Some say that gives him an advantage already. It's going to be G5.
And his opponent in the bottom left-hand corner in the green, playing Zerg. This is Herbmon.
I like how you made the extra effort to like pronounce the H there. I know it's not common.
Herbmon. There we go. Herbmon. There we go. I gotta practice my H's.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird like Americanism in English, but one of the less like offensive ones. So it's a.
It's like the W in white. You know.
Surely you mean the H.
Oh. Well, it's like the H on the W sound. Like they're similarly.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Much vastly maligned when it comes to their contributions. But anyway, Kicks.
Yeah, for a second.
Talk about the game.
I mean, there's one more thing I just want to mention. For a second, when you said it's like the W and white, I was like, does that mean Americans say height instead of white? Do they not pronounce the W? Have I been like lied to my entire life? But
oh God, Kicks, let's not overthink this.
Yeah, let's let sleeping dogs lie, because that's a dangerous conversation to be having.
Indeed, it is. I'm glad you've recognized this, Kicks.
Yeah. Now, Meteor is G5 is going to be going for a Nexus after his forge here. Could be seeing a cannon if he does see a spawning pool, which he does. So that first cannon going to go up before the Nexus. Now, the scary thing is, and one thing I need to get used to still, is G5 sounds like a clan tag, so I'm going to keep calling it media, and it's going to be kind of difficult.
Yeah, the only thing that would make it worse is if you had the G5 in brackets and then just left the media. But yeah, you're right. It's going to take some getting used to.
Now we're actually going to see Herbmon go for a triple hatchery behind this spawning pool. No gas. Quite standard on this map, but will give him a very strong opening economy. And I mean, if G5 overbuilds cannons here, he is going to, of course, build the Nexus first, after the first cannon. But G5's going to have to be careful. He's, of course, got his probe just scouting around, getting as much information as he can. But Herbmon is going to be looking to put this economy into overdrive very, very quickly.
Okay, so can I on the, I guess the economy, as that probe will see the third go down. I mean, that's going to eventually be a good idea, but most of the time when you see a Zerg player go for a third like this, you just cannon rush it, right?
Yeah, now, I mean, G5 could actually cannon rush from the high ground as well. Now, is he going to do that? You can also cannon rush the back of this mineral, but it could only really hit this mineral, I think. There is actually some links checking around for that. He wants to make sure he doesn't get caught off guard by that. But this is one of those weird positions that you don't really see on any other map. There is the power generator blocking like the back way into the main. Very, very short space. You can actually wall that off, I think, with one or two pylons. And I mean, Herbmon's in a pretty good position right now.
Yeah, I would. If he doesn't get punished for this expo, then yeah, he's going to be in a great spot. That's why you can see him running Lings up here, because he just wants to make sure that this probe doesn't get up to any shenaniganry.
Yeah, he almost actually left it alive for a second. That could have been a bit dangerous, but does get the probe. That free vision from the high ground going to be gone for G5, and G5 is going to have to send another probe immediately if he wants to check what his opponent's doing. He needs to see if there's going to be any gas, if there's going to be a Hydralisk den being added on right away. Luckily for him, Herbmon's actually going immediately into a fourth hatchery before gas.
What the okay, Herbmon. See, Zergs as a race, you know, they don't really use that gas resource a whole lot, Kicks. They really only need minerals to make Zerglings, and so that's why Herbmon is, you know, not really prioritizing gas, because all he really wants to do is make little friends that can hang out together.
Yep, and also drones, of course, as well. And hatcheries, like, why do you need gas if you can just build 10 hatcheries and build, like, 30 lings at once? But here we go. Looks like G5 is going to push off into the base. Going to see that the gas is finished, but hasn't been mined yet. Of course, he can't be sure. It is possible that Herbmon could have pulled his guys off of gas after getting link speed or something. But he is going to scout no lair.
True. So he sees the lair coming up, and this should sort of feel good to him. Well, I guess it never feels good when your opponent is building lair, but the timing should feel good, and he should know exactly what is coming his way. Now, will he be able to defend against it? I have no idea. I think this might be where G5 kind of rolls over and dies if he doesn't react quickly enough, because there eventually will be quite a bit coming his way. I think this is what 4 or 5 hatches.
Yeah.
Wait, where's the 5th hatch? Oh yeah, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, he's got the Hydro thing coming up as well. Second gas as well. Now, the one benefit that we will have from G5 is he is going for Corsair. Now, interestingly, unlike a lot of Blood and Protoss players, he's not ignoring the Overlord in his base. Going to take that down first. And that's, of course, going to delay his scouting. Now, is that really going to play into it here? I'm not too sure, but Herbmon in a very strong position. His economy is crazy right now. He's nearly fully saturated with drones on every single one of his bases. And it's only 6 minutes into the game.
I don't know what is same thing happened to Machine, right? The Zerg player just starts the game, gets to do whatever they want, build up this insane economy, tons of hatcheries and a ton of army, and that the Protoss player is just like, well, you know, I made some cannons. Yeah, I'll make some. I don't know what the plan is here, right? Because anytime you give the Zerg player a chance to just blow up unharassed, like, you know what's coming, and it's just not going to be a whole. Very, very good for you. Like, the probe literally saw Herb throw down a 3rd hatch before gas. So, like, either you get Zergling all in from that point, and he knows that didn't happen, or the guy is just gonna explode you. He's gonna boom you. Like, this is just not gonna be good. So I hope that this wall is like the biggest, baddest wall that G5 has ever built. But realistically, it's gonna be really difficult to hold the incoming influx of Hydras.
Yeah, now the thing is, if he does manage to hold on to that, now G5 did lose his Corsair, but he did see the Hydralisks, and that's going to be a big moment in this game. Now G5 knows he needs to get his Templar Archives up, he needs to get Storm, and he doesn't actually have his Templar Archives yet, so this could be a very quick win for Herb again. Now, we've seen 2 ZVPs today, both of them have had somewhat similar looks from the Zerg perspective, and I mean, Herbmon's doing what he needs to do. He's got his 5th hatchery, he's got his 6th hatchery now, I think, as he builds his 4th base up here in the top left. And without any DTs, without any Reavers or anything like that, Herbmon is just exploding out onto the map.
I guess he's going to be waiting for +2. He's just going to stay back at home, but like, realistically, G5 will not be leaving his base anytime soon. And so this is basically the Protoss equivalent of, like, sometimes what Terrans do off 3 base, Protoss are kind of doing it off 2. They're like, I'm just going to power on 2 bases until I get +1 speed lots, and then I'm going to explode out on the map, and I'm going to kill everything.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what has just now hit. He just got Zealot legs, he just got +1. And so the idea is that you run out on the map with these Zealots, and you're like, haha! Surprise! And then you go kill a base. And then the Zerg's like, Zealots, they've got so much health, and damn it, how do I kill? Except that this time that's not going to happen, because there's about 50 supply of Hydras that are going to bop them.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is, for any normal game, this is a lot of Zealots to be heading out, but Herbmon has so many bases, so many drones, and he's got so many Hydralisks already. I mean, Zealots are pretty good units, but, like, this is a lot of units for them to try and break against.
He's not even microing his Hydras. Like, that's a little disrespectful, Herb. Like, +1 speed lots are actually pretty good. The problem is there's just so many Hydras here. Like, this is disgusting. And this is what happens when you just let a Zerg power off 3 or 4 or 5 bases. It just doesn't look good for you. And so that was G5's plan, right? That was the gotcha, right? That's like when you set up this 3-minute long joke, and then you're like, but then the pancake, and you're like, well, wait, it's not fun. I don't know what you're trying to do there. So he tried to do his thing didn't work, and now he's got a whole bunch of +1 speed lots. They're going to try desperately to defend the wall at his second base.
Yeah, now I mean, one benefit he does have is Herbmon does not have an Overlord over here. So if he can somehow get some DTs out, maybe he can hold on with this, but
He's got
Storm...
Overlord speed. Yeah, he's got Overlord speed, and he's sending like 2 or 3 Overlords over
yeah, there we
now.
go.
Actually,
Okay.
he's only sending 1 over there, so if he could kill that 1 Overlord and then use DTs, that would be great. But he doesn't even have the tech, so he's just going for Storm. You know, maybe that's going to be it. Another desperate attempt here by G5 to cram all of his +1 speed lots into the choke point in the upper left-hand corner.
This could
Will
actually
he
work.
make it there in time? Yes. Okay, yeah, but so he's going to most likely kill off this 4th base. But wait, why is Herbmon trying to save this? Just go kill the guy. Like, you can actually... Okay, that's a lot of cannons, but, like, you can certainly maybe look around for this 3rd. I guess he's just... Because he is going to lose this, right? This is what +1 speed lots are trying to do. They just run up to a base, they're like, lol, I killed your base, haha. And then it's like, okay, well, yeah, but I can rebuild it, and you also didn't kill all my drones, and also you do not have the same army I do. So, I mean, cool, you did your thing, but I still think Herb's in a fantastic spot.
Yeah, now the big story of that attack, though, is it did delay the Hydralisk attack long enough for Storm to be finished. Now there is...
That is true.
I believe... Oh, wow, I was going to say there's only one High Templar, but look at the main ramp of G5. He has 7 High Templar there, all with Storm ready. But is he going to get them down in time? Oh, no, the probes... Oh, wow, there's a Templar over here.
Transferring. Oh, no, this could actually be terrible. Why would he actually let them transfer? Oh, because the next
it's Storm!
Oh, no! Herb! What are you doing? Ah! Okay, well, Herb didn't move his Hydras, so those are all dead.
Yeah. Oh, and here's going to be another Storm, and there's going to be another 2 Storms here, and that's a very small choke point. The first Storm does go down.
Herb, not like this. Herb, I've just been talking about how good a spot you're in.
It looks like he's still in a good spot, yeah. Yeah, this is a lot of Hydralisks. I mean, this is a lot of cannons. There's no Swarm, though. There's no Plague or anything. Wait. That would be the other way around. But either way, we do have G5 losing yet another Templar, and this 3rd base is going to go down. But G5 still has a relatively big army full of Storm, so...
Well, that's the thing. G5, like, got away... So, theoretically, if you think about it, right? Storm is, like... There's not a lot of counterplay other than moving out to it. But the idea is that the counterplay to Storm is that the Protoss player should not be able to make just 50 High Templar, let them sit there and juice up on Storm energy. Because they're going to be getting pressured, right? So G5 actually did do that. He didn't get super punished for it. Like, he lost that 3rd base, but he is going to have like 9 High Templar with 2 Storms apiece. And that just kills a lot of Hydras. It
does indeed. Now, can Herbmon actually properly micro against this? There's a lot of small chokes like those bridges.
I don't know, man. I've been watching the Herbmon micro, and I gotta say, my man, it's seen better days. So maybe these Storms kill everything. It's actually a realistic possibility, but I do believe in my man Herb to have the opportunity to redeem himself.
Yeah, no, I mean, G5 has still somehow managed to keep these Zealots alive. Like, they ran from the 4th base, ran all the way around here into the natural. But look how many Hydras there are. There's almost enough Hydras to fill an entire screen. And that's a 16 by 9 area. That's a lot of Hydralisks.
There's almost enough Hydras to fill, like, an entire, like large bathtub. Like, there's a lot of them. Like, these things could fill, like the Bering Strait with nothing but Hydras. I'm just picking arbitrary sized things because there's just so many Hydras. They could fill just about everything. In fact, they're going to be filling G5's base here in just a second, and I don't think he's going to be too happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, Herbmon isn't even going for the kill. He's just building a load of lurkers. He is likely going to go and set up a lurker contain, and then maybe go for a big drop or something like that. But he's not even well, yeah, he's got the Queen's Nest, not going into Hive though. Is he going to go for Queens? Is he going to do the liquid drone style? Doesn't look like it, but he did used to be on red as well. Of course, Eriador was on red. You may have seen Herbmon play in round 2 for one game, I think it was, on red, but here he is for Brood War Life again. And this is the big drop that I was about to talk about. And it's going to be very, very difficult for G5 to hold on. Now, G5 does have a lot of Storm. Storm incredibly good. But if your High Templars are out on the middle of the map, and a drop comes into your main, your High Templars aren't really going to be able to do anything.
I mean, G5's got to do something, right? He tried that +1 speed lot thing, and eventually, second time, it got the 4th base. And he's like, okay, well, maybe that buys him a little bit of time. And then he built his 3rd base, and that actually bought him a little bit more time. But eventually, he is going to have to get out here and take this 3rd. The problem with that, specifically on this map, is that it's not a gas base, so that's a little bit rough. But this is kind of the moment of truth, right? How good are these storms? Will G5 be able to hang on to this 3rd base? Because here comes the drop.
Will he hold on to his main is the more important question here, Rapid, as so many units get dropped down in here. The gateways being surrounded by Hydralisks. How these Hydralisks will fit into the Overlord, I have no idea, but that's so many Hydras being dropped in your base. And this could very well be the end of G5.
Too, so he can't get up the ramp to get into his base to save everything. And actually, there's some High Templars being taken out of the top. The High Templars need to actually run up the ramp, but they can't. It's blocked by a Dragoon that's on full position.
No.
So he can't actually get up his ramp either after killing off those Lurker Eggs, because the Dragoon's a more effective Lurker Egg, essentially. So yes, tons of stuff dying in the main, and eventually enough units will pop out of these gateways to clear everything up. But, like, I mean, this is just a lot of damage.
I mean, that's a nice storm to help finish those off. He's only lost... I mean, realistically, he only actually lost 2 gateways in a robo. He did lose quite a few units, but most of his units survived. His High Templars didn't go down, but this could be the nail in the coffin here as Herbmon sends another group of Hydralisks over to the map. This is the last-ditch attempt at expansion by G5, and this is just so much damage.
Okay, finally there's a High Templar coming down, but the Nexus is already dead. So even if all these Hydras die, their life was not in vain. And even more storms. Actually, nice dodging there by Herbmon.
Yeah.
He avoids quite a bit of that damage, and he's actually going to try to run away with these Hydras. I think I'd probably just sack them for the units, but yeah, he kills the base and actually gets out with most of his units.
I mean, this is so many High Templar. Like, the one thing that I would really love to see is... Wait, I guess Dark Archons would be really good. Like, just Dark Archon Maelstrom, there's big clumps of Hydralisks all over the place, and it's moves like that G5 needs to make. He needs to take some kind of gamble. You have Herbmon on 5 bases now. G5 is mining out of his natural, he's mining out of his main. This last base he has is going to be a mineral only, and it's going to be really hard to hold on to that. He needs to make something happen.
Yeah, I mean, getting a 3rd is one step, right? But he realistically does need a gas base, and so
yeah,
I mean that would be down at the bottom corner, but there's a Lurker there and a bunch of Hydras to stop any probe from going down there. And so I think Herb realizes, okay, well, you got the 3rd base, but I killed the Nexus, so even that's going to be delayed, and then so he should be able to just kind of starve G5 out at this point.
Yeah, now Herbmon's loading up for a big drop once again. It looks like we're going to have a similar thing. A nice storm, actually, on the bottom Hydralisks, but G5's units are way far away from his main right now, and this is a big drop coming in from Herbmon. This is so many Overlords, all full of units, and the second wave is waiting in the wing here to push straight into that 3rd base. But I mean, this is going to be a problem. The High Templar are not going to be able to get here to defend. There is one, but it doesn't even have Storm yet, and this is just going to be too many units.
Yeah, I think second time is in fact the charm here. Kicks. Wow, look at that. That's a whole lot of Hydra.
Wow, that's 6 High Templar that just came out.
Ooh, that's not the place you want the High Templar. I mean, to be fair, that one storm was actually pretty good. Okay, he doesn't have a second one. Does he?
Yeah.
Does he?
No, he doesn't. These are all new High Templar that have just spawned. So, I mean, he's doing a pretty good job clearing up these Hydras without losing too much. And that second engagement down the bottom, I did miss it, but a nice storm.
Oh my god, that storm! Holy yeah, he did get another storm there. So, yeah, realistically, this is not the worst cleanup that I've seen. Not a whole lot of key structures went down. Wow, that's a really good hold.
It is. I genuinely... I don't know how G5 has done it, but he's taken out both of the individual armies, has a lot more storm in reserve again. Actually, that's a bit of a waste, but he did actually have to storm a single Hydra to save his High Templar. You know what? In the end of the day, that actually works out. But his main is clear of Herbmon's units. But Herbmon's taken a 6th base, a 7th base even. We see the 12 o'clock base has been taken now by Herbmon. And I mean, we're gonna...
What is this? What's happening in the bottom right-hand corner? Is this a probe killing a lurker by building cannons next to a pylon?
Is. Oh no! There's no observer. Yes, there is. Here we go.
Okay, so the lurker dies. The cannons are canceled, thankfully. That was about to be the dumbest attempt to take a base I've seen in a while. But yeah, eventually G5 will actually clear out the bottom right-hand corner, and probably look to take a base there. That's something. There are shenanigans afoot here, Kix. What is going on here? Why is G5 not dead?
I think it's because Herbmon hasn't, like... This is the sort of situation where if this was effort, you'd see streams and streams of Zerglings. I mean, this is what we're going to start to see now. But this would have come in a little bit earlier. Cracklings would have finished a lot sooner. And I mean, this is just going to be so hard for poor G5 to hold on to. He's done a very good job so far, but this is going to be a lot of Lings. There's a lot of Lurkers, a lot of Defilers, a lot of Lings in reserve with Scourge as well. And this is actually going to be a 2 Lurker drop behind, but oh my god, the Overlord's going to go down before it drops the Lurkers!
Oh no. Okay, so it does drop... Oh yeah, it actually does get both of the Lurkers out. The problem is...
Oh no.
Look at the
oh,
wall.
this is so many probes!
Oh, wow, that Lurker got a bunch of kills. So, a few probes do go down, but overall, that was a lot to invest in just killing off a few probes. Realistically, this is actually super fantastic for G5, but unfortunately, he did lose that bottom right-hand base. So, G5 is on 1 base right now, Herb is on 1 million, and somehow, it still looks close.
It does. I mean, G5 is incredibly far behind in supply, but he's at 2-0 against, let's just double check, 1-1 for the Zerg player. But there is a lot of, I mean, I'm just going to hide all the overlay and just zoom out a little bit. Look at how many lurkers there are in the top middle. But here we go. Looks like we're going to have G5 pushing in. And how is this engagement going to go? He does have the Observer out at the front to take down these lurkers. Some DTs in here as well. But this is so many units from Herbmon.
And yeah, there's no Defilers out here either. Okay, just now one Defiler coming up. So it does have Darkstorm, but it does not have Plague yet. So, I mean, this is just a pretty good defense here from my man G5. I mean, Herb is doing a pretty good job with the Dark Swarms, but he A, needs Plague, which is just now finished, and B, does need a way to push through all these storms, and he hasn't found one yet. So eventually these storms are going to wear out, right? Oh my god, this is such a tragedy. What is happening right now? Herb just sent like 100 supply of Zerglings into a Protoss army to kill like a unit.
Yeah, but I mean, G5, this is all the army he has pretty much.
Yeah.
We did have DTs.
That is important.
We did have DTs taking down the like 1230 or yeah, 1230 expansion, I guess, but I mean, eventually G5 is running out of units. He's running out of money. This is just Lings upon Lings. Herbmon up at 3k, 3k. He can afford to throw Lings away all day. And I mean, he's doing his best. He's actually got way more Lings than he can possibly control. Not even Jaedong can control this many Lings, possibly.
Yeah, that's right.
And I mean, he's doing his best.
I remember a really cool video of like Day9 talking about how pro players kill... Oh no, a Defiler's about to die to DTs. Right in the middle of the map. Oh, he plagues the DT.
Yeah, that's gonna.
It's actually.
It's
it's
visible now. So this DT is gonna go down.
the vengeance there. But yeah, about controlling large numbers of Zerglings. So what you'll have is that pro players will like box them up right next to each other in groups of 12, and then they'll just like select rally, select rally, select rally, select rally, because there's not enough hotkeys for all of them. But
yeah.
Back to defending this bottom right-hand base. It's going to be canceled again. There's 3 observers down there, so it's definitely an F2. But
wait,
he does defend it.
Oh, that DT trying to move into the bottom left, not managing to get any damage down. Now, G5 is sat on a lot of Dragoons, but this is going to be a lot of Zerglings. Now, Zerglings are pretty good against Dragoons. It will need a lot more outcomes.
The thing that's better against Dragoons is Dark Swarm.
Yeah.
And so there it is, the Dark Swarm right smack dab on the Nexus, and so here come a whole bunch of cracklings. Yeah, so that Storm actually kills off almost all of the Zerglings. Wow, okay, so that's one way to defend.
Wow.
But I gotta say, my man Eric Rothmuller, he's coming through.
the power of North American Protoss coming in here in this game. Now, I mean, Herbmon is so unbelievably ahead still, but G5 doesn't want to give up. He is still fighting as valiantly as possible. He heard about
I
freedom
mean,
on the news, and he's after his own
let,
brand of freedom here.
exactly. Let's not forget, this is the WCG 2010 champion. Okay? All right. This guy won not one, but two New Hampshire lands. Like, I mean, this is G5 we're talking about. Actually, I think he only won one of them. But anyway, all that to say, the skills required to pilot Protoss at the highest level, just really, really incredible to watch, Kicks.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of Archons that are coming in here as well, the amount of storms. Like, I wish I had the ability to just count every single storm that went down in this game.
Oh, this pilot's just gonna walk into Zealots and die. Ooh, that one hurts. But yeah, dropping though again, and while while Kicks was not Herbmon or Kicks, while G5 was able to defend earlier. Yeah, Cracklings and
kill
Protoss
buildings pretty fast. Yeah.
Yeah, name a more iconic duo, and finally, it looks like that is truly the nail in the coffin. That will do it here. GG Herbmon is able to take out G5 and tie things up at 2-2 between Media and bwL Life.
Now that's actually going to take us over to the ace match. Now, going to take a quick break before then, but one thing I want to mention is if we look at the amount of units produced by Herbmon, he produced 670 units. He only actually killed 155, and he lost 406 of them. Meanwhile, G5 actually produced 209 units, but killed 402. He was so efficient with his units. I can't believe that game happened. But that's what we have in these show matches here. And that was a fun game.
That was super fun. Really proud of I guess both players. We were about to see a 6-3-3 Ultra switch, by the way, as well, right before that game ended. So that also could have been the nail in the coffin. But either way, that does tie things up at 2-2 and send us into an ace match. And I'm super happy that we are going to make it to the ace match because of the map it's going to be played on. If you want to find out what map that is, you can either check the Team Liquid thread or stick around so that we can come back and show that to you.
Yep, so we'll be back in just under, well, maybe just over 5 minutes. So see you guys very soon. Don't go anywhere. And we'll be back for the ace match of the series.